Today I'm going to show you how to turn your Fractal into a 4-channel amplifier. But first, cue the music. Howdy everybody, welcome back to the channel. Jay Palmer here with G66. Today I'm going to show you how you can program your Fractal unit to basically act like a 4-channel amplifier with a clean channel, with a rhythm 1 channel, a rhythm 2 channel and a lead channel as well. Thankfully within the Fractal verse we have the channels within every single block. And you can utilize these to use one amp but different channels on the amp. Today I'm going to show you on my FM9 Turbo, but you can also do this on the AM4, the FM3 and the FX as well. So let's jump into FM9 Edit and I'll show you exactly how to do this. And today we're going to do it from scratch. Yeah. Alrighty, over here in FM9 Edit we are starting with a completely blank slate. So let's build a very simple effects chain first of all. So I'll put an input here, and around here I'll put an output block as well. Then let's add an amp block around here. It doesn't matter which one right now. And then we'll add a cab as well. Then we'll tie everything together. So this is a very, very basic chain. Obviously we've just got an amp and a cab in there. I'll go over to the cab and I'll just pick the cab I like. I like to use the Dyna cabs, and in my library I have my favorite ones actually saved as presets. So I'm going to go with this JP1960 Dyna cab. So this is actually the 412 1960 TV cab, which is a Marshall style cab. Have a dynamic mic on one side and a ribbon mic on the other. The amp is a 5F1 Tweed. Yeah, that's just what loaded, right? So let's take a listen. What a lovely, lovely sounding amp. That's not the amp I'm going to use for this preset, but wow, that's a great, great, great sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my scenes, scene number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So my first scene is going to be my clean sound. So let's name this preset first of all. Let's call it 1 amp, 4 channels, and then let's put JP at the end so we know who created it. And let's call this first scene clean. Okay, so what I'm going to do with the amplifier is I'm going to find an amplifier which has multiple channels. And this is something which is basically emulating what we find in the real world. So something like my DSL 50 back there, it has 3 channels on it. So I can do something similar within the Fractal universe. So let's do that right now. So I'm going to go over to the amps. I've already picked the amp I'd like to use for this one, and you heard a little bit of it earlier as well. And it was this PVH 6160. Yeah! So what I'm going to do is go over to the 6160 plus clean, because the first sound I want is a clean sound. So let's have a listen to this in the stock settings. So it's still got a little bit of grit to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the gain right down. Let's put it to about 2 and then compensate with the master volume just a little bit. Actually, you know what? I'll leave the master volume just at about 5. I won't push it too much because I don't want the power amp saturation going on either. But I will push the level up just a tiny bit here. And then let's shape it a little bit. So pull out the mids a little bit more high end. And let's add some depth as well. So let's have a listen. Beautiful. That's a nice, nice starting point, clean sound for me. Just push the level up a little bit and I'm going to save this. So this is my first scene. It's very, very basic at the moment. I don't have any effects or anything. But I need my effects. I need a delay and reverb. So that's what I'm going to add right now. So in this block, I'm going to add my delay and let's see what comes up. So in my library, I'm going to pick, let's go with this one, the TC2290 Lush Dotted Eighths. Why not, right? So let's have a listen. Wow, that's pretty cool. But the mix is a little bit high, so I'm going to pull this back a little bit to maybe about 30 odd %. Okay, so let's have a listen now. I really like that because it's creating this almost stereoized sound just with the delay, because the delays are so far panned left and right. So I'm going to leave it at about there. Need a reverb on there as well, so let's add a reverb block. And the reverb I'm going to use is this one. I cannot pronounce this. I'll be really straight with you. So I'm just going to choose it and then I'm going to dial the level up because I want it to be quite wet. This reverb is really, really, really nice. So let's put it at about 45 odd % and let's have a listen. How beautiful is that? Now that's going to go on for another, I don't know, 25, 30 seconds. The time is very, very long. So I'm going to drop this back to about 15 seconds just to make it a little bit more practical so that I have a decay which I can work with. But hey, what a great sounding reverb. So this is really creating a nice ambient clean sound. Fabulous. One more thing I need is a compressor for my clean sound. So I'm going to add a compressor in. My favorite compressor is this optical compressor. I just leave the stock settings. Seems to work for me. Let's check it out. Perfect, beautiful, beautiful clean sound. So I'm going to hit save and I've got my first channel, my first amp channel. So this is the PVH 6160 Plus clean channel. Let's go over to scene number 2 and create our first rhythm sound. So I'm going to call this rhythm 1, and then in the amp section I'm going to change the channel. Now this is the important part. We have 4 different channels for amps, so we can load up 4 different channels from any amp. So if we have 4 iterations of an amplifier, we can use that. So I'm going to stick with the PVH, but you can load up whichever amps you want. So if you want like a Fender clean and then a Soldano crunch and then a Mesa Boogie lead, then you can do this within this. But what I'm going to do is stick with just the one amp. So I'll go to channel B here, and it's a Friedman HBE in there right now. So I'll find my PVs again, and it's right down here, and I'm going to go with the crunch sound here. So this is going to be my first rhythm sound. Now when I went to scene 2, the compressor was automatically turned off, which is a good thing. I didn't want it on right now anyways. And let's check the delay and the reverb. All right, it's changed over channels as well, but we'll stay with the first channels with both, and then we'll change it over when we need to. So let's take a listen and see how this sounds, and then do some tweaking, because I imagine that delay and reverb is going to be a little bit too much for this overdrive sound. Let's check it out first though. That's way over the top for the delay and the reverb. So let's go over to the delay, and I'll go to channel B and see what's in there. Oh, there's a dual delay already in there, and it's at 10%. So this is going to be perfect. This is going to actually work really well, because just a little bit of delay. In fact, I'll push that a little bit more to about maybe about 14 or 15%. And the reverb, let's change that as well. Let's see what we have in our other channels. I've got symphony hall, I've got small room, and I've got medium chamber. And in fact, let's leave the medium chamber in there. It's at about 25%. I'll check this first, and then we'll do some tweaking. I like the way that sounds. I'm going to leave it just at that. Now, I do leave my delay on for my rhythm sounds as well. I like the way it almost doubles up my rhythm sounds. I usually record one rhythm left, one rhythm right, and then I have some delay on it so that it actually acts as a little bit of a thickener and doubling agent, essentially. I'm going to pull the delay back just a little bit here, though. Yeah, that's perfect. All right, about 11.4%. That's brilliant. Let's tweak the amp though, because I want a little bit more high end in there. The depth is pretty good, and the mids I'm just going to pull back a little bit, and I want a little bit more gain from this as well. So I'm going to push the gain a little bit, but I'm also going to push the master. I'll compensate by pulling back the level to about 17. Let's check this out. Beautiful. I'm hearing the delay and the reverb when I stop, but not while I'm actually playing my rhythm. I don't want them to interfere with what I'm playing in terms of kind of just being too loud or anything like that. So that's really, really good. I'm going to hit save on that one. So this is my second amp channel. Yeah. So if I go to number 1, I've got my clean sound here. And then when I go over to scene number 2, I've got my first rhythm channel. Brilliant. All right, I'm going to go over to scene number 3 and create my second rhythm channel now. So I'll call this rhythm number 2. And in the amp section, I'm going to go over to channel C. And I'm going to change this over to the lead channel on the 6160 Plus. Now, this is the lead channel. It's got a lot more gain, but I'm still going to use it and dial it in for a rhythm sound. So I'm going to keep pretty much the delay and the reverb settings the same. Maybe I'll change the delay or turn it off altogether so that I have a drier guitar on, let's say, the right-hand side when I record. But I'll dial this in first. I'm going to boost the gain a little bit and then pull back the mids, a little bit more treble here, and presence as well. Let's boost the master volume and pull back the level as well to about -17. Let's check this out. Fabulous. Let's check out what's happening with the delay. So it's changed channels again. I'm going to go back to channel B here, and let's check with the reverb. It's a Symphony Hall reverb. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I'll leave it at that. I love that. It has a little bit more bite, it has a little bit more gain to it. So I'm going to hit save, and then let's compare the two channels. So this is rhythm number 1. And in scene 3 here, I have rhythm number 2. Brilliant. I have 2 different rhythm channels now. Great. 2 different sounds. We need one more. We need a lead sound now. So let's go over to scene number 4, and I'll name this lead. And what I'm going to do here in the amp section is to change the channel to channel D. This will be our 4th channel. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to pick the same amp as in channel C, which is our 6160 Plus lead, but I'm going to do some more tweaking to it. I'll pull back the bass a little bit, and then I'll leave the mids where they are for the time being because I want this sound to be slightly different from the rhythm sounds. Boost the treble again, and the presence, I like to do that. A little bit more depth, and master volume, let's really crank it this time. This time I'm not going to lower the level too much because I do want there to be a slight volume boost here. The other thing I'm going to do is go over to the preamp section, and I'm going to engage the boost, and it's a 9 dB boost at the moment. Want there to be more saturation on this one, so we'll check it out with and without the boost, but I'll turn the boost on first. Let's have a listen to how this sounds first. Nice amount of saturation, nice amount of gain as well. I'm going to try the saturation switch as well. Why not? More is more, right? Let's have a listen to this. Now this is going to drop the level a little bit, so I'll adjust the level in a second when I see how much it's dropped. I love the sound of that. Okay, I'm going to leave the amp where it is now. The delay, I'm going to have a check, is on channel C, and that's good. That's a dual delay. It's at about 25%. That will sit well in the mix. When I do my solos, I like the delay to be mixed in a little bit more so that it can be heard when I'm playing my solos. Let's check what the reverb is doing. It's the medium chamber again. Sounds pretty good to me, so I'm going to leave it there. So I'm going to hit save again, and this is actually going to give me 4 different channels. That's it, I've done it. I have an amp within my Fractal FM9 now, where in scene number 1, I actually have a clean channel from the PVH 6160 Plus. Then in channel 2, I actually have the crunch channel. Channel 3, I have the lead channel but set as a rhythm. And channel 4, I have my lead sound as well. And hopefully that's got a little bit of a boost in it as well. And we can check this over. So if I play my rhythm channel on scene number 3 here, and go over to scene number 4, I want this to be slightly louder. Perfect, and it's done. I'm going to go back to scene number 1, hit save so that it saves it in that state. So now I have 4 different channels to play with. Scene number 1, I have my clean channel. Scene number 2, rhythm 1. Scene number 3, rhythm 2. And scene number 4, have my lead. And they all have slightly different delays and reverbs and things like that. That's also something we can do with this amazing channel setup within the Fractalverse. I really like using this. So there you go. That's how you set up your Fractal to act like a real amp with multiple channels. Now you can do this with any amplifier that you want within the Fractalverse. So do check through the various amplifiers and pick the ones that you would like. Even if it's not there, even if you want to set up a single amp, let's say a Marshall Plexi with 4 different sounds, you can do it this way. You can essentially create 4 different virtual channels, which is a really, really, really powerful aspect of the Fractalverse. If you would like to have a play with this preset, then a link to my Gumroad page is in the video description below, so please do go and check it out. Alrighty, it is time for the track. This was so much fun to do. I love the sound of this amplifier. PVH 6160 Plus within the Fractal is such a gorgeous, gorgeous sounding amp. Maybe I should get a real one. 5150 though, right? Alrighty, enjoy the track and I'll see you soon with another one. Bye for now.